Today, Instagram is massive, but actually it started as a side feature of the bigger app. Let's dive into the founding story of Instagram. Instagram was founded by two software engineers, Kevin Systrom and Mike Krieger. Kevin was a Stanford graduate who was in Google in different product marketing roles. He had an interesting combo of engineering and product marketing background. Mike, born in Brazil, also studied at Stanford. His combo was engineering and design. In 2010, during the mobile app boom, Kevin and Mike decided to launch a mobile app. They call it Burbn. Before we go into details, I want to briefly remind you about the context of that time. The first iPhone was released in 2007. Of course, it was an innovative device, but the true revolution started in 2008 with the release of App Store.
And so our developers are going to be able to reach every iPhone user through the App Store.
So here started the apps boom. Uber, WhatsApp, Angry Birds, and so on. Back in 2009, there was a popular check-in app called Foursquare. You basically can check in at places like cafes, which would notify your network, and there is some badges inside, like mayor of Taco Bell, and so on. Kevin and Mike decide to make a clone of Foursquare, but with a few extra features on top of the check-in. Mandatory photo sharing and ad plan, what you are going to be doing in this place. The app was called Burbn. They managed to raise $500K initial funding, and the app was launched as a beta in October 2010. It immediately gathered 25,000 users. The team analyzed the user activity during the beta and realized that the app was too complicated. Check-in and plan features weren't used a lot, but people were posting the photos frequently. So they decided to revamp the app and make it purely focused around photos.
They loved taking a picture of the bar, the restaurant, the whatever. And we realized, to keep it simple, we were going to have to cut every other feature of Burbn, which we did. And we just kept the photo part.
It took them only 6 days to remove all non-photo parts of the app so it can be focused on photos, and rename the app to Instagram. And it was an immediate success. The app got around 1 million users just months after launch. People loved the experience of uploading photos directly from their phones, sharing them with friends, and apply filters. iPhone cameras back then were pretty ugly, and filters made them look kind of more bearable and artistic looking. 2011 was a year of Instagram. A lot of new users. Celebrities start using Instagram, for example, Justin Bieber and Snoop Dogg and others, and a bunch of new investment rounds. By the beginning of 2012, Instagram had around 30 million users. In April 2012, only 18 months after Instagram launch, there was an announcement from Mark Zuckerberg. Facebook is acquiring Instagram for $1 billion. It was a huge deal, as it was one of the largest tech acquisitions ever for such a small company. Instagram only had 13 employees and no revenue model. For Facebook, this acquisition was important as Instagram had everything Facebook did not have, which is young and mobile audience. For the Instagram team, they got a lot of money, plus they can now rely on Facebook's server infrastructure and engineering resources, so they can kind of focus on product and scale further without overthinking the kind of technical challenges. The public promise from Zuck was that the Instagram team can continue operating independently from Facebook. They can keep their own office, their own brand, and so on. And the promise won't be kept. The deal was a great success for Instagram as an app. They reached 100 million monthly active users by early 2013. And since then, they were successfully growing year by year, and from time to time implementing new features or copying them. For example, videos, stories, and so on. Kevin and Mike continued running Instagram for 6 years after the acquisition, but both resigned in 2018. reportedly due to disagreements with the Facebook team on the app direction. Almost immediately, Instagram has become more than just a photo sharing app. It transitioned into a full-fledged social network. These days, it sort of became default social network. Like, people use it to connect with each other, cafes run Instagram pages by default, and so on. Instagram is probably number one most significant app when it comes to cultural impact. And arguably, this impact is not very positive. First problem is visuals. It raised the bar for visuals in pretty much everything. Beauty standards, food, drinks, places, everything now has to be Instagrammable. Commodification of places and experiences. People just go to places to take Instagram photos and not to actually enjoy the experience. And in some cases, it leads to over tourism or some arrogant behavior from people. Influencers. It created the influencers phenomenon. People whose lives revolved around creating content for social networks and often perceived as like fake and overblown. Of course, this term has become much more toxic thanks to TikTok, but Instagram was first. Anyway, I would not blame Instagram founders for this. They just gave platform and people used it the way people typically do. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the story. Click like and subscribe as even better stories are coming soon.